Welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host, James Kane, and today we'll be talking about the Backrooms. I'm joined here with Andrea Duffy and Haley Hulse. Let's get started, Andrea, with talking about what are the Backrooms.
Backrooms are liminal spaces in reality that are randomly generated rooms called levels. These levels are mostly understood in a way, but are still sort of randomized. For instance, level 0 is a room with yellow walls and carpet and buzzing noises. We understand that much, but maze-like level that the maze is randomly generated.
Okay, Haley, how do you get there?
So to get to the backrooms, there's a process called no-clipping. But to no-clip, it's like you glitch out of this universe by running into like a wall or falling through the floor. It's an insane concept, but many people do it.
Okay, Haley, and now how does one leave the Backrooms?
To leave the backrooms, there are a series of exits scattered throughout the rooms, but some of these may be traps or highly dangerous.
Correct.
You can also get out by no-clipping back out, like you no-clipped in.
Yes. So some of the exits are not exactly safe. In the found footage on YouTube, you can see that when the person finds an exit and leaves, he basically teleports to like 1,000 feet in the air and falls to his death back to Earth. So not all your exits are safe. Speaking of exits, not all exits found actually make you leave the backrooms. Some of them lead to other rooms, which we call level pathing. Andrea is going to talk to you about level pathing.
Level pathing is when certain quote-unquote doors that look like exits but lead to different levels. Most of these doors are generated in certain rooms and normally lead to and from specific rooms. They are randomized, so they don't necessarily lead to that certain level, and they're hard to find.
Right. Like level 0 has a very specific room where you kind of like go down and there's like a weird kitchen-y area. Anyway, so you can find that almost every time. It's randomly generated if you will find it, but if you do find it, it will lead you to level 1 all of the time. Not all of the exits to other rooms, though, are doors. They can be sewage pipes, pool, one of them's like a slide, I think. Yeah, there's like slides and stuff. They're all different sorts of things, so it doesn't just have to be a door. There are hundreds, maybe there's infinite number of backrooms, but only the first few are very popular that people know about. Andrea will be going over the first few.
So the first known level is level 0, typically known as the lobby. It's a very open space resembling the backrooms of a commercial building. It's got yellow wallpaper and a greenish yellow carpet all throughout.
Mm-hmm.
There's also lights that look like,
they're kind of like damp yellow.
yeah.
They're meant to like drive you crazy the longer you
Yes,
spend in there.
and they also make a very obnoxious buzzing noise, and it's hard to find your way around. This is one of the rooms that's most like a maze because you just turn corner after corner and you have no idea where you are because it all looks the same.
Right.
So the next level, level 1, is known as the habitable zone. It looks like a parking lot and it has a lot of fluorescent lights hanging and it's very empty. There's no cars even though it's a parking lot. And there's machinery, there's forklifts. It's just a very cold, wet environment. The next level is level 2, also known as pipe dreams. It's a network of utility tunnels that looks like a construction area. It looks like it's breaking down and rusting and that people haven't been there in forever. It's very
Navigable.
And there's rusted pipes everywhere, there's leaking pipes, it's dark, it's spooky, it's also mostly concrete. Level 3 is known as the electrical station. It's an expansive complex of brick walls with electrical machinery scattered throughout. It's very similar to level 1 and level 2 mixed together. It's open, but it's more of a building instead of just pipe tunnels, and it's not really a room like level 0, but it's got many different directions like level 0. It's a big maze, but it's really hard to navigate. There's light, so it's not as dark as level 2, but it looks very similar to the two combined.
So as Andrea said earlier, level 0 is kind of made to drive you crazy in a way with the moist carpets and the buzzing lights. So with the back rooms, they're very dangerous because you can starve to death. You can, get thirsty and die. But the main way of death in the back rooms is usually these things called entities. And what these entities are like randomly generated creatures that live in certain levels and have certain patterns. They're like real animals. They live in their habitats and they all behave in their own sort of way. A lot of these entities are known, but some of them aren't. And so they're classed on their danger level. So some of them are safe, some of them are dangerous. They do different things. There's a way to combat them. It's very, very I don't know. There's a lot of different ones. Haley will go over some of those now.
So entity number 12 is called the phobia. It's a very dangerous creature, like a level 5 threat. It's incredibly dangerous, and it stalks its prey with stop. So those who are unfortunate enough to encounter the phobia will find themselves trapped in a living hell of their own making. There's little to no escape from the relentless onslaught of their deepest fears. If a wanderer no clips away from the entity, it is likely that it will respawn and continue to haunt its prey until it's dead. Another entity, which is entity number 8, are hounds. They are like a humanoid type entity with canine attributes. They have long bony limbs, sharp claws, and have eyes that are fully white, and they're lacking irises and pupils. Basically, you should stay away from these entities because if you get bit by one, it's like a bacteria and it'll morph your body into becoming one of them. It's like rabies.
There's also some pretty cool facts about the backrooms, like the fact that in level 0, it's pretty much not pretty much. It is impossible to encounter other people. You'll be walking around the maze by yourself. That's part of the reason why you go crazy. However, there's a very, very small chance you'll run into a room with lots of chairs, and there you might find other travelers that have also found the room. Now, that also leads into the next part, which is the communities that live in the backrooms. There's soldiers and scientists that set up in the backrooms, and they go to the safe rooms with lots of resources that can spawn, like water and food. Some levels will spawn this thing called almond water, which is a very good version of water. It's very hydrating. And there's other foods too. And there's supplies that spawn as well, like things that you can help build shelters with. Some people purposely try to go to the backrooms to set up in these communities because it's basically infinite food and water. You can just live there forever. And since they're living in the safe levels, they don't have to really worry about any of the dangerous entities.
There's also a government that sends groups of explorers down into the backrooms so they can test the entities and the composure of the backrooms. And there's also groups that build factories and whatnot inside of the backrooms as well.
Yeah, so there's they make whole form governments in there. So different levels will have different governments and stuff that the people like to set up.
So the concept of the backrooms came about in around 2018, and since then it kind of flourished and everybody started making their own kind of fandom. It's like a creepypasta. So on the wiki page you can find different stories about the backrooms and whatnot and more information based on it.
Yeah, so the wiki is obviously it's a database site. You can go and you can find all the levels that people have made, all the fan made stuff. So the wiki is a big community. It's how basically everyone who makes the backrooms communicates. So there's kind of a process if you want to make a level. Anyone can make a level. You'll make an idea for it, a concept, some entities that live in there. You can take pictures from real life. So basically, you construct a level, give it a description, and upload it to the wiki. What they'll do there is they'll put up like a contest between a few levels. Like, this person wants to do this level is 500, this person wants this level is 500. There'll be like 10 different ideas. And people will vote on which one is their favorite concept, and whoever wins gets uploaded to the official wiki. So it's pretty cool the way that they do it, because anyone can be involved. Like, someone like you or me could just go on there and be like, hey, I like this idea for a level, so let's make it. And then if you win, cool, you get to add to the lore. But honestly, people don't, I don't know, it's like the first few levels that are popular. That's kind of like the big thing, and then some random levels that people might know that they like, but it's a pretty cool thing. One of the most popular ways people like to discover about the Backrooms is through YouTube videos. There's a really, really big one with millions of views. It's called Backrooms Found Footage, and it's just a guy who put a lot of work into making a video where he goes through level 0 and sees a monster, which, by the way, there are no entities in level 0. That's kind of like a myth thing just to make the video better. But yeah, he finds the monster and he escapes. You see him falling from the sky. It's a really, really cool video to watch. There are people that make hours of videos talking about the levels and the entities, and you can learn so much about the Backrooms. It has very deep lore.
So this was really only just a little dive into what the Backrooms actually is. You should totally go do your own research because it's epic.
The lore goes
So
super
much
deep.
It's infinite.
If you're really interested, I'd recommend watching those YouTube videos. Okay, that's it for today's podcast. Thank you for tuning in.